I was just wondering if you wanted to, go out sometime.
You want to get a coffee?
Now?
Yes, now.
I'll just hang on.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be.
Her name is Sadie.
Who wakes up next to you?
I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but I think she might be the one.
I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you.
She really is great. You'll see.
Any word?
She ghosted him.
I bet she isn't even seeing your text.
She does travel a lot for work.
Go to her.
I'm going to London.
See, you get it. It's a grand romantic gesture.
Yeah, that is amazing, mate. 5,000 miles to surprise a girl who you've only met once, especially if she's the one who ghosted you.
No, she didn't ghost me. She just doesn't have an international calling plan.
Oh, right.
Where am I?
Oh, God, you have the wrong guy?
I'm a farmer.
Wait.
Whoa.
Can you walk, Gold? Say to you.
Who are you?
CIA.
So confused. They kept asking me about the tax man.
They asked you about the taxman.
They think I am a tax man. You're the tax man.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You got me kidnapped and tortured all after one day. I saw the rock.
You're the one who flew to London.
It was a romantic gesture.
Get every bounty hunter on the continent. I want her alive.
This is bigger than you and me.
Did it never occur to you that he could be a foreign asset trying to compromise your mission?
Who the hell are you? I'm the boyfriend.
Do you trust me?
Is that a joke?
So, how many times is it weird for me to text before I get really creepy? Because if I just started like texting you now, like, I mean, I've had a really nice time, and I think you're all really lovely. And are you okay with if I send you a bunch of memes? You're okay with that, right? No? Yeah. No? Okay. I feel a little awkward. Hey, everybody.
Quinny, this is just eggplant emojis and splash emojis. Are we going to a water park?
Yes, totally. We're taking the aubergines to a water park. That's fine for you, yeah, right? Yeah,
inflatable things to a water park. That sounds completely normal, but that's why I'm not going to respond to you. That's just wrong.
I mean, it's a good thing emoji stuff doesn't count.
Yeah, no, totally.
Hey, do you want to
count, and memes don't count.
Do you want to come around and do hand and emoji stuff? Sorry, Peter, that was uncalled for.
We are back, and we have not ghosted you this week. We are in fact here in the Twitch stream and welcoming you back to the periodic table of awesome. Hi, I'm Quinny. Introduce yourselves, other people, because you're lovely.
Hi, I'm Jill.
Yay.
Hi.
Nope.
No, you go.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
I go.
Nope. Nope. Your turn. Nope.
I feel like that's why we don't do that anymore.
I know we
No, we
don't, but
don't.
I'm just sorry.
Hi, I'm Peter.
I feel like I just wanted to put 3 dots up on the screen and be like, yep. Forever. My review of this film is just 3 dots. It's like, I have opinions,
Just going.
but you're just never going to see it. And eventually you'll just be like, God, I'm done with you. And then you'll just wonder about it as I burn my SIM card. Anyway.
Yeah. I think should we have left this review on red?
Well, see, I mean, not to be strange about this film, but I am going to put it out there. I didn't hate it. I know, right?
Wow. And look at the eyebrows raise all throughout the thing.
And review done. Let's all go home.
I just want to point out to you, there are bangs everywhere. Like there are two people here with bangs, and I saw both of their bangs just go chunk as the eyebrows.
Wait a second. Why have I been removed from the chat thread?
Dion is no longer. Dion is no longer part of that chat thread.
No, I am. Welcome to my last podcast as someone who didn't mind Ghosted.
Well,
but also, willing to be educated.
Well, as my public predilections would have led many to believe, I should have liked this movie, but indeed,
Yes.
it was the exact opposite. And I knew from the trailer I was going to fucking hate this movie.
Me too. Why did we do this?
Oh, dear. Well, I did it with two very good friends on the weekend, and we laughed the entire time.
See,
Right.
you laughed.
So-
It was funny. You enjoyed it.
Ooh, we laughed for many different
Oh.
reasons.
Come on.
Enjoyed is a strong word.
You were
Because I
present.
sat on my own couch and watched this all by my lonesome and
Oh,
went,
no. There's nobody to poke fun at.
no.
You didn't
no.
even have
So
anyone
I
to
just
text
watched
to.
it for the film that it was and was
Oof.
like, okay.
That must have been tough.
Well, the funny thing about it is I had a similar thing to Dion where I was like, I actually didn't hate it as I was watching it. But the more I thought about it afterwards, the more I just went, oh no. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, fuck no.
Yeah.
Come
I
on.
think my most famous exclamation throughout the movie was,
And not in a sexy way. Like,
I mean, it had a female producer.
she was also the lead actress.
No, well, that was executive producer. Yeah, I was quickly skimming through like who
When your
created all of
talent
this
is
with,
producing it, I think that's a sure sign of nepotism at work.
or
It's-
that they
it's
want
also-
a part of back end.
yeah. They want the part on the back end, but also it is an even more damning kind of indictment when if you're in the film and the film is as fucking questionable as this is, shall we go all the way to problematic? And you're one of the producers, you can't just blame the script and go, oh, it's not their fault. It's not the actor's fault. They were dealing with a shit script. No, they were producers. They knew what the
Everybody
fuck they were doing.
involved was doing a terrible job. I would have blamed it on a terrible script if I hadn't known that the script was written by people that had done incredible work on Deadpool and Zombieland. And I could have blamed it on the actors if they weren't two fucking incredible actors.
Yeah. And again, I find myself wanting to repeat your line.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like going to the hot new restaurant that's just opened, and then they've kind of it's like, is this just McDonald's? Have you
Pretty
just
much.
have you just said what is this? It's a deconstructed
I mean,
cheeseburger.
it's not even because McDonald's is like satisfying in its own terrible way. There are lots of things that the films that are satisfying in their own terrible ways that I would say, go and watch it. It's terrible in a great way. This is not one of them.
No. If for anybody interested in watching the film, I would say just watch the cameo moments because that was the only thing worth watching.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, like occasionally it had attempts at exciting action sequences, but even they felt oddly shit.
oh come on,
we
Jesus.
can go into deep. Why don't I feel like we should break it down. Should we like synopsize it and then
Oh,
start to break it down?
yes.
Good idea.
Would you like some background music for this, which is exactly
I-
what we're after?
I would love that, but I would also like. I feel like the kind of background music that goes with this is the kind of problematic background music of
Yeah.
like I don't know the Pina Colada
Gotta
song
be
or something.
the man who goes along with you. When I get drunk. And I know I'm gonna be the man.
And you're gonna love this synopsis.
Yeah.
I'm almost gonna wait till Jill has a mouthful of drink.
Oh
It's just-
no.
The first line is gonna be the thing that gets you. Okay.
Come on, Quiddy. The Proclaimers are playing. Give us a synopsis.
Salt of the earth Cole falls head over heels for enigmatic Sadie. There, Jill's face says it all. But then makes the shocking discovery that she's a secret agent. Before they can decide on a second date, Cole and Sadie are swept away on an international adventure to save the world. Fuck that synopsis. Fuck it in its stupid ass.
Oh, but come on. It's the Proclaimers.
Salt of the earth man who lives with his parents on a farm and is so attractive that everybody stops and turns, but is incredibly somehow unlucky in love and can't hold down a girlfriend. I'm like,
Yeah, with his like $200 New York haircuts, and he's like,
oh, right. I'm like, I'm sorry, what are you even selling
trying
at
to
this
make him
farmer's
look like a
market?
farmer.
Yeah,
You're
what was
just
he
selling like
selling?
little tufts of some kind of plant and
I
palming it off
feel-
as like bee product.
I'm
I'm
not
like,
sure.
what is even happening right now?
I'm not sure how this has escaped anyone, considering it has been a stock and trade movie trope for the last 40 years of having a small town girl who doesn't really, understand how gorgeous she is.
No, but this guy knows.
He knows.
He knows.
like usually,
You don't look like Chris Evans and not know that you're beautiful.
And that's the thing, like usually in this trope, like, yes, the guy is incredibly hot, but like in a salt of the earth farm boy way, not
Yeah.
like in a,
Not in a I'm Captain America.
yeah, and I'm going to like my 5-star New York restaurant tonight way. Like there was just something extraordinarily unbelievable about him in that character
Yeah.
to begin with.
And then what makes it kind of worse is that his behavior makes you go, oh, hang on, you're actually a terrible person. You're a manipulative.
Look,
From
everything he said
the
about those
very
plants was
beginning.
entirely correct. And I'm 100% on board with do not get a begonia as your first plant because even I can't take care of begonias. The cactus was definitely for her, but he went about it the wrong way.
He went about it the wrong way, but then also like running after her and stopping her by running in front of her car and slamming his hands on the bonnet. Like, that is
Yeah,
scary.
aggressive?
That is scary, aggressive behavior. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like no one who wrote this movie perhaps maybe ran it past one of their female friends who
Anyone?
have been in this situation.
Ran it
where-
past anyone?
But also she
hmm.
caved so quickly.
Yes.
I'm like, here's a guy that was a complete and total dick to her. She still bought the plant. She didn't walk away. I would have
No.
said, well, fuck you, and left. She still bought the plant. She let him into the car, and then she called him back and asked him out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, there's red flags on both sides of this.
Yeah, I had more butt wires in the first 5 minutes of this than I had in the first 5 minutes of John Wick 2.
But,
Like,
but it was directed by Dexter Fletcher, and he's never done anything wrong.
I mean, I actually quite like Dexter Fletcher, and I think he does good stuff, but at the same time, fuck that.
Yeah, I think just the director and the writers have both done incredible work outside of this, but somehow when everybody came together to do Ghosted, it was just a dumpster fire.
yeah.
So-
So we've started the film like right off the bat in a very strange, disbelievable, problematic place.
Yeah.
So
My only
where do we go from there before hitting
Do you-
spoiler town?
Do you want to? I don't want to do this. Isn't spoiler town. I just want to know whether or not everyone had the same frustration within the first 10 minutes. I mean, all of this is happening across there, but my main focus got drawn to the fact is: did he just walk off from his market stall and
Yes.
do nothing
Yes.
about it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
and I
Oh
was
my
like,
god! I'm like,
the
who is
entire
closing
time-
the stall?
yeah, who did? And I know that they resolved it like eventually by just having that throwaway line of, "Oh, thanks for closing the stall for me yesterday, Dad." And I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
because for the
just-
last half hour, I've been wondering. You just walked away from your market stall, your
Yeah.
main source of income, and you've just
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
like, hey,
You left your cash box
yeah,
there. Your cash box that you put a fucking a tracking chip on.
Oh,
but
that's
you just
fine
like,
because the tracking chip's on it.
yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, like that was the thing that was freaking me the fuck out. Like, how could you just
No, me
walk
too.
off?
Me
Yeah.
too. Me
Yeah.
too. I'm like, but who closed the store?
Yeah, like all this,
Oh,
all that cutesy stuff happening of them spending what seemed to be the longest 24-hour period that has ever existed, where I wasn't sure if it was a week or 2 minutes.
And then even sealing the deal at the end of the day, I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah, and how do
Yeah.
they have the energy?
Especially after running up all of those stairs.
I know she was sweaty. He was fucking gross. This is a bad time. That's
Also, how many cutesy areas do they have in that small podunk town? Like, oh, it's a Midwest town. Where was it? I can't remember exactly where it said. I think it was like,
no.
Midwest town.
Somewhere
nowhere.
that can have a farm and a farmer's market
Yeah.
and still have people to buy the products.
And a river, and a river, and a set of stairs you have to run up,
Yeah.
and like all this stuff. I was
Yeah.
like, wait, where?
But
where
also
is
big
this?
enough that a CIA agent would live there and can get to and from her work.
Yeah, it's going
Yeah.
to be also close enough to an international airport so that that said CIA / agent
Yeah.
can turn up less than 24 hours later in another country.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Makes 100% sense.
I mean, you know what? That shit you can usually suspend your disbelief for,
Yeah.
like whatever mechanics, but we haven't started on solid ground for suspension of disbelief so far in this
Hey,
film.
but I'm still willing to go with it because Chris Evans is such a dreamboat, and Anna de Armas is so disarming.
So we go with it. We go with
Yeah.
it. We have the
Yeah.
romantic argumentative meet cute, and we have the
Meet ugly turn meet cute.
It wasn't particularly cute, was it? I found the whole thing like really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. We call those in fanfic a meet ugly.
A meat ugly.
Then
And
we
I
have
bet
the
he has got
romantic
ugly
date that
meat.
goes for the whole day and the whole night,
Yeah.
and etc.
With
And then
two
he
people
goes-
that have absolutely no romantic chemistry.
Right.
Yeah. This is the third film together, and in every other role they've been adversarial. So this is like, I'm not
Yeah.
feeling it.
No.
Yeah, it did kind of feel a little bit like two friends doing something that they really knew that they weren't matched for across the whole
Yeah.
time. And I was
It
like,
was giving me weird. We're a brother and sister doing a romantic
Yeah.
movie.
or he's gay and nobody's been comfortable saying that yet. And look at him do this very romantic role with this gorgeous woman who is not into him, and it's all very awkward and weird.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a strange thing. But then, like, by
I
the
mean,
time,
the romantic scene made me very uncomfortable.
Well, to say nothing of the fact that the romantic scene is then followed up with him taking a fucking selfie of himself in bed with her while she's
While
asleep.
she's asleep.
Yeah.
and that
And then
never,
we find out that he's done that. In the same breath, we find out that dude still is with his parents.
yeah,
Yeah.
and and that never comes back in the rest of the movie. Anyway, they didn't make that an entire subplot, a justifiable subplot.
So okay, there's a lot more film that we will talk about, but one thing I do want to say, I do occasionally think the writers knew what the fuck they were writing, because the sister would say things that would go, hang on, somebody here actually knows that that's fucked, because they've had a character say it. Like, are you going to go all the way to London to stalk somebody based on a fucking tracking tile? Because that's psycho. That's a thing that psychos do.
Yeah.
So somebody in there knew, but the film still
sure.
happened.
Yes, but it's
And this
Nonetheless, they
psycho had a
persisted.
fucking travel voucher just
Yep.
sitting in the drawer. It's like, oh, I'll use this travel voucher that I bought years ago thinking I was going to travel the world and
That's
never
also
did.
not.
it's not. Yes, it's not how plane.
know, right? It upset Pete
She's
so
so
much.
angry. Her internet dropped out.
Time frame.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pete, you kind of dropped out in the middle of that. So you just looked so angry that you turned into a different time zone.
I'm just saying that's not how travel vouchers work either,
No,
because they generally expire in a reasonable time frame.
yeah,
And I'm thinking that it's been quite a few years since this man has had his gap year.
Yeah. This is a 41-year-old man in real life. I'm
this is
like,
like
who
a-
are you trying to
This is like a
play?
20-year-old travel voucher that he's just got sitting
Yeah.
around in the drawer that he's getting.
Yeah.
Force
Yeah.
doesn't work like that.
See, in this one, they kind of like I was watching it, going, all right, it's kind of a bumbling male and cool female protagonist thing that's going on, and then
Yeah, I understand the reverse of the trope.
by the time when I was watching it, the only thing I kept referring back to, which was like, The Lost City did this so much better.
Oh my god!
Like,
Yes.
yes, like
It
they tried to
really
do the flip, and
did.
I was like, The Lost City did this kind of flawlessly.
Yeah.
This trope kind of like that you was like, oh, we've moved it on its head. It's like, go watch if you're expecting to watch
Yeah.
Ghosted and be like, oh, this will be fun, watch The Lost City. If you
Yeah,
want to just
a
watch
heap
this
more
movie,
fun.
like, oh, this is just weird, I was like, yeah, watch Ghosted. It's got some fun cameos.
Predicanga in the chat says, so wait, is it sincere in the stalking as a romantic thing? I assumed it would be a commentary on that trope. I'm pretty sure they take it as fucking straight.
It definitely doesn't.
No,
I
says
mean,
Dion, sorry.
there is a scene like where he's literally walking down the street watching her. And by the way, but why does an international super spy not realize they have a consumer grade tracker on them? But that's by the by. There is a scene where he's like literally like walking down the street following her dot on his phone. Like, it is deeply, deeply creepy and disturbing.
Mhm.
And I feel like if they were making commentary on it.
Maybe it was supposed to be a warning. It's like, hey, look how easy this is, everyone.
Yeah, for one, why did she take her handbag to London on a mission? And for
That's not
two,
my
I
mission.
did not buy white gangsters in England.
No.
Those guys were definitely not gangsters.
No.
I mean, you know.
But I mean, then we
So-
wouldn't have gotten to that really weird Tim Blake Nelson scene, which was all about weird torture. And then we never got introduced
Oh,
to
with the bugs that never got revisited.
No.
Oh, no, they came back.
Never came back to bugs again.
Yes, it
I'm
did.
like, oh, this has got to have something to do with him knowing a lot about bees. And then
okay.
it never did anything.
Adrian,
Did you forget about that, Peter?
I forgot about that.
Adrian,
Yes.
Adrian Brody definitely killed a guy with the bugs, but then they never returned to it.
Yep.
So, Dion, do you think that this was actually a story about how stalking is bad?
I don't think they understood that, but they were definitely giving those vibes off. It's kind of like, hey, did you ever think you wanted to do a grand romantic gesture, which for some unknown fucking reason, Chris Evans's mother and father, the father is the same, the father and the sister are the same one, and the mother is like, no, that sounds so lovely. You should definitely chase this girl all the way to England when she doesn't know you're coming or expect you, even though you've only met her once. Yeah, I'm supportive of this. And I go, damn, Pelimoto, just stick to fucking hanging out with Grogu. Yeah.
Look,
And
she
to be
does it with
honest-
Jawas. Like, you can't, she
Yeah.
can't judge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Amy,
no,
no, Amy
she-
Sedaris is great. I love watching her showing up in a bunch of stuff these days, just being a bit wacky and zany. But this one, bad call, bad acting, bad direction.
And to be
Yeah.
honest, like, none of that is the worst of it for me. The worst of it is when like shit hits the fan because of his stalking and she's having to like rescue him. He literally spends the entire rest of the movie bitching about how she put him in danger.
Oh my God, I've never heard a man whine so much.
So
Yeah.
stalking and gaslighting.
Yes,
Yeah.
all the way through.
All the way through.
And getting pissy when he realizes that she has other people in her life. Like the fact that
Yeah.
she's hooked up with this, good-looking Middle Eastern dude, and he's like, I'm going to get all passive aggressive and shitty at you because you have a past where you actually had sex with someone.
Yeah.
And you're like, and it made me so angry I snorted.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they're just trying to do it to stop Chris Evans's, thing as the golden boy of Marvel.
Yeah, well, I
Cinematic
mean, I
Captain
already
America.
divorced him in my mind, and this just like turned me off again when he was like, "I just a moment."
You put
I'm
me
like,
in so much
okay.
danger. This is all your fault. She didn't ask you to tell you. Lord.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He also lost his luggage.
Oh my God. What was in that tiny luggage? I'm like, men don't carry bags at the best of times. Like, what did he even have in there?
I'm also going,
Um,
that's pretty brave for someone to go on an international trip with just a carry-on.
Just to carry on.
And I
know,
was
right?
like, oh, come on, man. That's like, is it just underwear? You're just wearing
Maybe
the one
it's just
set of
more
clothes.
tracker tiles.
Yeah, yeah.
No, well, that and a bunch of lube and some condoms. Like, I guarantee you that he thought that thing was mostly filled with sex toys. There's a deleted scene where it's handcuffs and sex toys because he was sure he was gonna get laid.
And I don't know what was going through that person's head. I don't understand that. Yeah, the more you think, the more you look at it, I'm like, yeah, that's really right. Anyway, they did stunts right. Anna de Armas got to like be kick-ass, and that's a positive. Yeah, that was fun.
She did, but I mean, I have a problem with like the choreography of the fights with the gun use. It was
Wasn't
like
great.
it just did not work.
No,
Yeah.
like, and actually, like I think the first one that they did when they like after she breaks him out of the torturing device, and that's not really a spoiler either. And they do that like bus chase through, I don't know, a stan. You know, they just want to say it's an Indian
Oh, they were
Kashmir.
Pakistan. It was in Pakistan.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's just
there
like
was a card that came up.
I did actually look at that and go, that was very interesting. It frustrated me so much when where they started at the Khyber Pass and then had to go to a specific town in there, and I was like, it's like a 6.5 hour drive from where they left the bus to where they got there, and it suddenly became from the middle of the day to pitch black night, and I was like, I'm not sure about that. Anyway.
Of all of the things that was wrong with this film, that one really didn't register with me.
Sure, I didn't like the
I
timing.
think it kind of goes to show where there's no solid foundation for having any kind of suspension of disbelief in a film. Every tiny thing that you would usually just kind of let go because it's a movie. But every little thing is like, no, fuck that little thing.
Exactly, Peter.
I also thought that the fact that, like, okay, so we've got Captain Problematic here as you know, Cole. Like, he is super needy. He lies to people regularly. No, I only texted her like twice, 11 times with memes and gifs. Motherfucker, calm down. I have tracked her to the other side of the planet, and now I'm going to complain the whole fucking time. And we are meant to believe that he's doing it all for the right reasons because she's a little bit sad and lonely. That's the amount of character development we kind of got from her at the start of the film is she's a bit sad and lonely.
Yeah, which was like why she bought the plant, but then there was also this other factor of like, oh, she's always just done the job. She's never saved anybody that got in the way. And then so her character development was, oh, she saved this guy. So there must be something about him. And I'm like, really?
Or
There's
she just
so
kind of
many...
doesn't want to let a civilian get killed if she can.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Honestly,
that.
like the subplot of like him being the tax man, I think was beneficial for her to actually get the mission done. So that's the reason why she didn't just dump him.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been a little bit better, and I really kind of wanted at the end of that end of the movie for her to be like, anyway, mission over. You're now a liability, and there's 2 to the head, 1 to the chest. Bye.
I mean, there are so many more but whys about the mission that we can get into in spoilers.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So many but whys.
So many but whys. We can go to the spoilers. It's absolutely fine. I don't mind. Do you want to go?
Okay.
I mean, we're kind of getting close.
Yeah,
we're pretty much at the end of the movie anyway.
We don't need to bang on about
I
this.
guess
We might as well.
at the beginning, I kind of thought that it would be okay. It was just miscast because I just did not believe Chris Evans in that role at all.
The hallmarks of a, pun intended, hallmark straight to DVD fucking Christmas movie without the Christmas.
But I did think, like, if it wasn't him, if it was like a comic actor, you know, then it would work.
Well, here's the thing. I think that this could have worked if it was a Ryan Reynolds movie.
To a point, yes.
See, I buy him as the whiny, hapless guy, but not Chris Evans.
And I mean, there's a whole bunch of other people that could have done it. I just did not buy Chris Evans. But then as the movie kind of kept going, I was like, no, this would never have worked with anyone.
But also, if it was somebody other than Chris Evans, all of the creepiness, all of the bad behavior, the fucking gaslighting, the stalking, the whole thing would not have had anything like the longevity. You would have fucking cut that dude out real fucking early because you're like,
I would have cut Chris Evans. She tried to cut him out real fucking early.
But like the film relies very heavily on him and his charm and his charisma to keep you fucking watching.
Which is
Like-
actually, in a way, kind of a dangerous message.
Mm. Yeah.
Because it is that whole kind of incel thing of, oh, the only reason they don't like it is because I'm not attractive enough. Like, no, women never like being stalked. I don't care if it's by Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Jill? No.
look, yeah, I'll say that a lot of his evil characters are my type, but that's just.
You're gonna go back and get blazed in my Winnie.
I mean, give me Ransom from Knives Out any day.
Yes, but like sending you
You ain't
11
shit.
text messages
You
in a
ain't
row and then tracking you across the
Yeah, okay.
globe. Yeah.
Yeah, just randomly turning up when you like in an international location, going, "Hi, funny running into you. I actually was tracking you on my phone."
Look,
You'd be
all
like-
of my friends would have to say, no, Jill, don't.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, but look at what he looks like. And they'd be like, no.
Yeah, it's like Jill, no.
Yeah. I'd be like, Jill, yes.
Oh dear. Okay, in that case, then ratings.
I mean, I was going to say, was there anything
Yeah,
about the
no.
film that we did like before we I know we have
The cameos, and that's it. And I want to talk about it in spoilers.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
the cameos were fun.
I like some of the locations. Eh.
Oh,
some of them.
yeah,
Not all.
just some.
I like the concept. The execution is where I was like, this is not perhaps as funny as you may have thought, or
Yeah, it could have been a good movie.
It,
Yeah.
it reminds me a lot of Passengers. You know that.
Oh no!
Oh,
Did
no.
you just like throw up in
Oh,
your
no.
mouth? And so I go, ugh.
yeah.
In that somebody wrote that and thought that sounded like a good idea and
Oh,
didn't think it all the way
so
through.
much the most unromantic of movies.
Does it feel
Yeah.
like it's the elevator pitch that has just like instead of being fully fleshed out, they've just gone, yeah, that's great, and it's like we're making that now, and I think. You're right there. Someone in that writer's room was like, yeah, but this is real weird and wrong. And they've gone, yeah, anyway, script in.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, okay, we'll put that line in. That's a funny line. No,
Yeah.
it's not meant to be funny. I'm actually calling out the film.
yeah.
There are a lot of different ways that they could have done this premise that would not have involved much creep. Like they could have done it. The small town boy finds out his girlfriend is a super spy and gets entangled in it somehow.
Yeah.
Without the creep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
They've
were
done that.
many ways that they could have.
They did that with Mr. and Mrs. Smith,
this.
a flawless film.
Yeah.
That's
They've done a couple of
completely
those
different plot.
tropes before.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's deeply problematic. It's deeply problematic. It's not good.
Well, should I start off this rating bonanza
Go
then?
on.
Please
With-
do, Dion.
Please, as
I
the one
wanted
that
to find out from
mildly
you what you
enjoyed
liked
it.
about it. You said you didn't hate it, and we didn't say.
No,
what did you
I
hate about
said
this,
I
This
didn't
Dion?
is why I
actually-
was asking, what do people enjoy about it? That's
Well,
what I
I'm not
wanted to know.
saying it's like, I mean, yeah, like when you look back, you're like, wow, okay, yeah, there's some issues with that there. But sometimes, I feel like I walked through the Hellfire Club and I came out the other side and I had a good time. And when people reminded me about what I did, I'm like, yeah, maybe that was wrong. But not that is a useful metaphor in this this stage. I liked the some of the ideas that we're trying to go across, and I really like watching Anna De-Armas. I think she took this film because she had such a good time doing James Bond, where she was really good in that like very quick scene where she was doing that, and someone said to her, "Hey,
I
do
think
you
at the
want to?"
Fall Guy, she did a lot of action work in the Fall Guy too.
Yeah. Well, we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Wait.
Fall Guy's not out yet.
The Grey
No,
Man?
what's the Grey Man? Oh
there
fuck!
you go.
The other one
other
with
Ryan
Ryan,
movie.
fucking what's his name? Yeah.
Ryan.
I was going to say, he's
Jesus.
still
Yeah.
shooting that, isn't he?
I mean, if you're going to be able to do like say yes to action stuff, and be like, hey, do you want to do this? It's like, yeah, and she does a pretty good job. She's
Yeah.
not usually helpless. Was there a whole weird subplot of bad love interesting? Yeah, absolutely. But I liked watching them be act around each other, but not together. Yeah, it was a bit weird. And see, every time I think back, I'm like, oh, this is getting worse when I think about it. I'm going to stick with my original rating. It's 70. It's 70 out of 100. I didn't have a
Jesus.
terrible time. Yeah, I'm allowed to have what I think. It's not
You
great.
are allowed your opinion.
Yeah. Like, I
You
can't-
mentioned like that acting together, and I do question like how much of it they actually did
Yeah,
do
me too.
together because it there was a lot of moments where they just were not together on a screen, and I'm like,
There are a couple of times where they're in a car, and I noticed it very badly in a few of the car sequences. Where I'm like, I know you're on a green screen. I know
Yes.
that you like
a lot
this
of green
is not,
screen moments.
Yeah, this is not on the back of a truck or anything like that. This
Yeah.
is on a green screen, and I'm not sure that you're acting off each other.
Yeah, I had that feeling
Yeah.
a few times.
Okay, Jill, go on.
Oh dear.
You're throwing up in your mouth again, Jill.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I really disliked the movie. I think I'm gonna give it 45.
Oof.
It's less than an indifference because it did physically pain me to watch these two people that I enjoy be very, very terrible.
Physically painful. 45. That's it.
Yeah, because I think maybe the only reaction I had besides screaming at the cameo appearances was and there was too many of those.
Okay, it's 45. Ouch.
I mean, look, I'm going to be fairly unforgiving on this one because I really didn't like it. I really didn't like anything about it. I don't have anything against any of the individuals that are involved in it, but I think that they had all of the ingredients to make a cake, and instead they made sewerage. Deeply problematic, and for other reasons that we'll discuss later on as well. So I was going to give it a 30. Like, get right down there. Get right down there. That's like the score that I give things that have kind of made me mad.
Yeah, I was going to say, this
fair.
This isn't just, vaguely offensive. This has actually made you quite angry, hasn't it?
It's not a very Peter rating at all.
Actually, could you take me down to 40, not 45?
Oh, okay.
Are you, like, I feel like the next time I see everyone in like face to face, you're all going to be like, you gave it too high.
What's wrong with you, Dion?
Yeah, I'm like, what?
You rated it poorly. Peter's 30. Okay. So when I watched it, I kind of came out of it and went, oh yeah, that was whatever. It didn't land well. The ending doesn't work. The stupid fucking action sequence at the end, I found myself going, this is dumb. Like, this is really fucking stupid. But it wasn't until I started to think about what the story was and what Cole was and how underwritten Anna De-Armas's character was that I started to go, oh no, fuck this film. Like, for real, fuck this film. So for me, it's, I don't know. I don't think it may be quite as angry as you, Pete, but it's definitely somewhere around there. It's going to be a 40. Like, as I said, there were moments of pretty. There were a couple of action sequences that I thought were quite cool. But also there were other action sequences, like the one in the bus. I was like, this.
No, Quinn hated it. He hated it.
He killed it.
He is out.
Yeah. He's decided that he doesn't want any part of this review anymore.
That was my face. Like, the whole movie.
There we go. Right.
It's funny because I got partway through it and I'm like, Jill's face has stopped moving.
Oh no,
my face.
Yeah. Oh no. Your face stopped moving.
Yeah.
In a contortion
on
of
my
pain.
recording, it's going to be me talking and then going, fucking internet. So I don't know where you got to with it.
Still a better movie than Ghosted.
So 40. The bus sequence. The bus sequence felt like it was on a set.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%.
And I know that they don't film these things in the real world with real buses and shit like that, but they can at least make it feel like it's got some fucking danger.
What do you mean they didn't film that in Pakistan? What are you talking about?
No.
But it said it there on the screen. They were in Pakistan.
And does somebody want to, like, Karina, who is a regular in the chat and so forth, has also sent us through a not a rating, but a little commentary on it. Does somebody feel like
A
reading
quick
that?
stab at it.
Yes, let me just find it.
Nice.
Right. So she said, Karina's opinion on Ghosted. Ghosted initially starts out as a fun spin on the rom-com action genre, but ends up just devolving into two people who keep calling each other's bad traits out. None of the action is cool or memorable or unique. The chemistry between Evans and De-Armas feels forced. The cameos were fun for 5 seconds, but also don't add value to the story. Forgettable and a wildly problematic depiction of a dangerous relationship. Both actors deserve better material. And you know what? We couldn't have said it better ourselves.
Yes.
We'd
And the
rather
difference-
spend 40 minutes picking it apart.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. But what she can do in 3 sentences, we do in 40 fucking minutes. So.
Yeah.
Sure. Speaking of problematic sentences, let's go and watch the really, really fun bit that we've all done on a first date with someone when we want to do it, which is challenge each
Yeah.
other to a race, especially when you have to race upstairs. It's cutesy, it's lovely, and it's deeply weird. I mean, it's still better than Twilight. You know, have you grabbed onto me, Spider Monkey, and then running through the trees?
I mean, like, I feel like if you have to use the phrase, it's better than Twilight, we know where we are.
Anyway, we'll come back and then we'll just talk more about the spoilers slash cameos. Yay.
Little bet. Race me to the top. Beat you. You got to tell me what scares you.
I love this.
All right, I like the confidence. Hang on, wait. Let me just hang on.
Oh, come on. Put all that in here.
You're gonna carry all my stuff? Okay. Wait.
You're looking for pity?
That's exactly what I'm looking for.
Oh, my friend.
You ready? And go! I'm guessing you work out.
Are you okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what we've all done that. Like, you know, I've done it many times.
Sorry,
Challenge.
I didn't realize we were coming back from the clip, so I don't know how much you heard of me going, what a fucking idiot.
No one heard that one.
Oh, good. Well,
I'm good
now
on
you
the
can
thing.
hear it.
Yeah,
What a fucking idiot.
Yeah, Quinny
He's
just sitting there going,
asthmatic.
what a fucking idiot. As if he won't run up a stair. I'm like, Jesus, come on, we've all done that. Willamalloo stairs. That's where I take all my dates. I'm like, run up the stairs in a
Hang on, are these
skirt.
the last stairs?
Yeah. To be fair, Quinny, that wasn't a date.
No.
That was
no,
just
and I certainly didn't take a photo of you in bed later.
that
You were
was
sleeping.
no, but you should have, because then it would have ended
I
differently.
mean,
Anyway,
that's just crossing such a huge boundary.
oh yeah,
Like,
So creepy.
yeah,
so creepy. And they
That's
knew it
amazing.
was creepy because they had the sister say so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. And Anna, what's her name? Sadie. Sadie even says, "What the fuck? Who does that?" So
Yep.
that's the thing. There are
Yeah.
characters who know how fucking weird what he's doing is, but the film persists.
it's
I also just think Sadie is just such a terrible spy. Like, she doesn't pick up that she's got a consumer tracker on her. She uses the same alias, like, for like her home life in her hometown as with all of her spy, contacts and
Yeah.
boyfriends. I'm like, surely she wouldn't be using the same alias. Like, no, okay, never mind. Like, I don't know that much about being a spy, but that just seems dumb.
It's so
Um,
strange to watch Chris Evans's, what was it, Cole, just keep saying, like, keep defending himself across the entire film. Like, instead of just acknowledging, like, actually, I see, that's real weird, and I'm sorry I took that, and I would understand if you never saw me again. It's kind of like, yeah,
Nothing wrong with this.
yeah. Yeah, what do you mean? No, it's not. It's
And also, this is all
romantic.
your fault.
It's all your
You're such a
fault. You
horrible
lied. You
person.
never told me you were a
You
spy.
put me in danger.
Yeah. Oh, what an ass.
How? Anyway,
So let's talk about spoilery stuff. What
Yes.
Yeah. All
I
right.
mean,
well,
I
I'm
love that
gonna
we're
call
talking
it
about.
the.
I love that we're talking about spoilery
Yeah.
stuff. I do have to acknowledge that I did put all of the cameos on the screen of the stream that we're doing. It's literally John Cho, Ryan Reynolds, Sebastian Stan, and
Anthony Mackie.
on the screen.
Oh my god.
In case you're wondering
I'm
what the
I
spoilers
really
are.
wanted to add points for John Cho, but it
Same.
just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
I want to call this moment the moment that I blame on getting COVID, because I felt completely fine up until this point, and then I screamed when Mackie showed up, and then I had a really sore throat the next day, and I swear that hurting my throat let the infection in, and that's how I got COVID, and it's all these fucking boys' fault. Because as soon as Mackie showed up, I laughed, we all screamed. Then John Cho, and I thought that was a bit weird. And then we're like, okay, we just need Seb to show up. And then he fucking was calling himself God in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious. We had to stop it because we were laughing so much and screaming. We had to go back so we could actually hear what he said.
Yeah, dialogue, whatever, doesn't matter.
And then at the fucking end, bloody Ryan Reynolds shows up, and I'm like, he's the one that should have been in this movie.
And I found his kind of cameo such a weird one too, because
Oh my god, it was so fucking funny. I'm like, where was that level of comedy in the rest of the movie?
Well, and I kind of had that thing of like, so he comes in and he's got the fucking eye patch and everything, and I was like, is this a character we're meant to know other than the fact that it's just Ryan Reynolds?
Also, why?
So he was an ex of Sadie's that she had left for dead.
Yeah.
And that's how he lost the eye. And then,
Yeah, because remember the running joke was that even though she has banged her exes, i.e. the one that Cole got upset about, who'd lost his hand, and then Ryan Reynolds had lost an eye. And for some reason, they decided to end the film in the last climactic action scene on a giant gravitron.
Yeah.
I was watching it just going...
I mean, the gravitron, like, let's just, again, if one was able at that point to suspend any disbelief about how revolving restaurants are engineered, like...
I would want to believe that throwing a man between the cogs would stop it.
I actually thought, I had the same
Not
feeling.
make it
I
go
was like,
faster.
oh my God, you can't throw a man, you couldn't put a person through two cogs like that are doing rotating restaurant. That would just gum up the works. And then I thought about it and I was like, no, he'd die. Like it would keep going. It would just have a smear for a while, and he wouldn't go fast. That's the thing. It would have created a more satisfying death because it was like that's going to take a minute, and then that's just going to get messy.
You broke Peter.
I'm just imagining it's like a scene where that just happens like super, super slowly, and the camera just doesn't
and
cut away
everyone
for comedic value.
Yeah, and it just keeps getting worse. And then then you could have something like, I don't know, Cole freaking out, like passing out and then waking up and then throwing up again and passing out, because it's like the first horrific thing he's ever really had to deal with. And it was another man's death.
Weirdly reminiscent of the end of The Winter Soldier, where he was like on the glass, because this was in DC above the Potomac, and I'm like, I'm like,
honestly,
how much can we milk this Captain America thing?
Meanwhile, is there are you an actual city unless you have a revolving restaurant? Like, is that the thing that makes you a city?
Sydney has two.
Where's the other one?
Yeah, where is the other one?
There's one in downtown, like not just the fucking Centrepoint Tower. There's another one.
It's called the Westfield Tower. Thank you very much.
No, it is not.
It was bought by a
It'll be Sydney Tower
corporation.
forever.
It was bought by a corporation. Now, where's the other one?
There is another one down closer to Martin Place, and I can't think of the name of it, but it's another revolving restaurant.
I'm looking this up.
One day I'll take you there, honey. Australian Square. Yeah, maybe.
Look,
where that?
So one thing I did want to mention, we also talked about John Cho, which was lovely, but love seeing him, Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie, and then you also got Mustafa Shakir, who was Jet Black in the Cowboy Bebop thing. So I was like, okay, so is this just like a selection of Netflix's on-call people that they have contracts for?
Well, it's Apple TV, so probably not.
Oh, well, let's fuck that theory.
Yeah. Come on, Quinny.
Ah,
Look, it's a rare
Whoopsie.
misstep for some of Apple's programming. I think of late, I have always enjoyed some of their quality programming, but this one is not very quality programming.
This is not very quality programming at all. I don't understand. And what kills me always about this kind of stuff is that a whole bunch of people worked really hard to put this together.
Yeah.
Like,
Thinking that they was like, oh, this is
kills
going to be
me.
amazing. Chris Evans and De-Armas. This is just the writers of Deadpool. This is going to be fucking great.
You would think with the ingredients, delicious cake. But no.
But I mean, it's
let's
also
talk about how the CIA works. And what happens if the CIA discovers that a civilian has become party to, information? Do they then just like put that civilian in the field and be like, well, I guess you're the agent now. Off you pop.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they've done it in nearly every other TV show I've seen, so I guess.
Yeah, It's like, I mean, when they finally get them out, and they have the scene on the beach, and there's meant to be the moment where like the CIA roll up, and she makes the decision to let the thing go to save
The
Cole.
MacGuffin. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because I can't fucking remember what it was anymore.
Aztec, Maya, something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thing that kills
Yeah.
people.
What was the MacGuffin?
It was like a neurotoxin or something that could take out most of the
Yeah.
eastern seaboard.
That's right. I forgot what the actual stakes of the movie were.
no one gave a shit. It was a case. It was Adrian Brody trying to track down a case.
Yeah. And then some angry Japanese people, arguing over how much they were going to pay for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always a case or a bomb or a syringe or a VX gas or there has to be something that
it's
rich
the
people for
MacGuffin.
some reason want to control, because ultimately their goal is to kill people instead of what the real bad people do, which is just make money and keep everyone in serfdom.
Yes. Careful, you're getting a little close to socialism there, dear. You're just edging up to it.
Look, all I'm going to say is capitalism is only 500 years old, and shit existed before capitalism.
True.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay. Sorry, I just read Predikanka's question. If you has to cast a male Bond girl, would it be Chris Evans? And if not, who?
Well, damn, he's the major eye candy.
Well, Channing Tatum, because that's the Lost City.
Yeah.
That is literally a
Yeah,
male
it's
Bond
exactly.
girl, the character
Yeah.
he plays in that. And also you get the greatest thing of having Brad Pitt in that film as well, playing the person who is the maleness of the male. Although the Barbie movie's not out yet, so we can't actually say anything.
Yeah. We have to hold our Kennedy until.
Oh,
I mean,
Love a
in
Kennedy.
real terms, it's actually kind of a hard question to answer, though, because the dynamics are just different.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Many movies of the Bond girl being
Are you gonna get
primarily eye candy to be rescued.
Are you gonna get Karen Gillan come out in her Scottish accent and be like, "And what's your name?" And some dude's like, "I'm Dickie McFucks," and she's like, "Of course you are."
Great Bond name.
That's
Well, I mean, when you're comparing it to something like Pussy Galore, I mean,
Yeah, like-
I mean, come on.
if you're gonna go down
Xenia
that
on a
road.
top.
Yeah. That's a real one.
I know.
Remember that
Oh,
famous
dear.
line? Christmas. I thought Christmas only came once a year.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many.
Shit,
If
man.
you're gonna do a
But
gender flip
anyway,
on that-
our review of Ghosted, just watched The Lost City.
Yeah.
Okay, no, here's a serious alternate for you. Like,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
want to watch something that is kind of similar in tone and like a bit silly, but like in a fun, you want to keep watching way. I recommend The Recruit on Netflix. I know we
Okay.
had mentioned that before. I
Yeah.
feel like Noah Centino kind of pulls off the whole, agent
was
gets
another,
thrown
this
into the
is-
field and isn't really supposed to be there. but
Yeah, it
kind of
was
handles
another, this is
well.
not how the CIA works kind of show as
Yeah.
well.
And this is like completely ridiculous, but it's more ridiculous in a fun way and not ridiculous in an angry making way.
Hang on.
Sure.
So sorry, which one's the recruit? That's not the rookie, is it? That's a different one.
Yeah, that's a different one. The Recruit is the recent
Yeah.
dropped around
Netflix.
Christmas Netflix.
He's also, but he's
CIA
already in the CIA.
Lawyer?
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I
with
have
Noah
seen that
Centineo.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed that.
That's that
Um,
one.
It's silly in an enjoyable way. Go
Yeah.
and watch something like that. Don't watch this. This is deeply problematic. And
I
it really
mean-
is. Like, I think that it's the reason I rated it so low is it's problematic in a damaging way. Because the whole movement for many men getting kind of caught up in this kind of incel and others movement where they kind of think that the only reason that they can't get women is because they're not chads and not because of the way they treat women. And this, like, I know it seems like just a silly movie, but it does reinforce that idea that you can treat women however you want if you look a certain way. And it's just not true. The reason they can't get women is because they treat them poorly. Like,
And
it has
LoJack them.
nothing to do with whether they're a Chad or not a Chad. And it just seems like it's a very, very strange reinforcement of that odd mindset that is becoming more and more dangerous at the moment. So
Yeah.
I'm not cutting it any slack because they end up together. Spoilers. Like,
Yeah.
creepiness.
that.
Oh, romance. They end
Yeah,
up
and
together, like,
bitching and creepiness and bitching.
and
But also
gaslighting and stalking.
the idea that all of this will be forgiven or will be unimportant because you've gone through trauma together. Like this is what we're kind of getting out of these films is it's okay to be manipulative, it's okay to be a dick and gaslighting and fucking all of these things, but if you go through some kind of terrible trauma, all of that won't matter because
Particularly a trauma that you've created.
Yeah. It's just it is such a fucking problematic issue and idea. And it's funny, like I was reading a review and they were talking about all the other films that have had these same kind of really questionable male characters, and we've mentioned most of them tonight, like Twilight, Love Actually, Andrew, what's his name's character who, shows up on a doorstep, and
pretty much every male character in Love Actually, that's also deeply problematic in a very sad way.
Yeah.
What about Four Weddings and a Funeral?
I haven't analysed that one recently. It's been a while, Dale.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
Yeah. So basically, like, there's and a whole bunch of other films where it's like, okay, the idea, Blade Runner, fucking hell, there's so many characters that are just we're taught persist, don't take no for an answer, and if you need to use whatever tools that you have at your at hand to prove to the person through whatever
Yeah,
means
because
necessary.
it goes back to that bullshit schoolyard thing of like, oh, if he's mean to you, it's because he likes you. And it's that same perpetuating bullshit.
Yeah.
Many levels of problems that have come together to make this film. And I know it's silly, it's just a movie, but popular culture is what shapes culture. So
we can do better.
We can do better.
So much fucking better.
Apple TV, we know you can do better.
Yeah,
like,
you do it all
hello,
the time.
what have you done?
Speaking of Apple TV, we're going to revisit and talk about a little bit later in the month.
Yeah.
Looking forward to Ted Lasso's wrap up and hopefully do all of that. That's an Apple show that they should focus on. That's a good one. That has positive male role models. Shrinking, terrible start, but like does have positive ideas expressed.
Oh yeah, and I just I don't know whether people joined us last week for Shrinking. If you didn't, it's a wonderful show. I actually need to bump my rating up because I managed to finish the series and realized that it was real fucking good. And if you are on the fence about it, please go and watch it. It's really, really, really good. And yeah, the last couple of episodes, oh wow, holy shit. My emotions.
My emotions. Speaking of things that are coming up this month, has everyone looked at the schedule? We've updated the schedule. Yay! Because what is
so
it?
much happening. 5 Tuesdays.
It's
this
5.
month.
Fucking hell.
know.
Damn May.
It's gotta be
It's
May.
too many Mays. But yes, I know that tonight is the preview for Guardians of the Girl Crew, which I still don't know if it's going to be good. I hope it's good. Let's see how they go. As James Gunn's famous last Marvel film, now that he's taken over the reins of the DC universe, and is just going to make that totally fine, and everything in the Flash is going to be fine. Speaking of potentially,
so torn over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how they're
So
just
glad I don't care about DC.
they're just leaning so heavily.
Oh, Peter, but if you did, it would hurt so much.
They're leaning so heavily into like Michael Keaton and everyone else in that. It's like, yeah, let's look over here. Like, look, it's the Batwing. Remember that thing? You love the Batwing. You know.
Yeah. Here's a bunch of things that aren't the problematic lead.
And after that, what have we got coming up after that? It's Peter's choice, or no? That sounds bad. That sounds like a terrible movie.
No. I have been fairly
it's a Peter's
insistent.
choice.
I am forcing you guys to do this, but I also forced you guys to do Ted Lasso. So
this is true.
Let's
Sure.
not be throwing stones. Schmigadoon and Schmicago.
Schmig musicals.
Schmicago is finishing up its season this week.
Too soon.
Right?
Too soon.
There is a
I
lot
feel like
to
I only
discuss.
just got into it, honestly, and now
I know.
it's the last
So you
episode.
need to bring to that one your deep musical nerd. And if you do have any musical nerd in you, I do recommend watching it before we talk, because we will talk all of the.
I'm going to I think I'm
references.
going to just set myself up to provide stupid earworms to derail everyone. So every now and again, I'm just going to try and slide in things that are songs, just to make you go, stop it! Now I've got Pirates of Penzance in my head.
Which is weirdly something that they actually don't parody.
They don't reference.
Yeah. I dig harder into like Oklahoma and stuff like that if you wanted to really fucking.
Is that where
Well, Quinny, you would love Schmigadoon.
is that
I've watched
where
3 episodes so far.
the wind comes rolling down the plains?
Good.
That is the one where the wind. Yes. See, I don't really know Oklahoma that well because it's not a musical I've ever listened to. I know the version from Sesame Street.
Oh,
Well, you know what?
Okay.
Sometimes you can get these. I mean, one of the songs in season 2, I got the reference from an episode of Schitt's Creek. So
Oh, right.
as long as you get the reference, you get the reference. We
Right.
can discuss which one that is when we discuss the show. It's fine. We'll get into it.
how many clips are you
it'll be
going to give me
alright.
for that one? Like 12?
Mega thousands.
Schmega thousands. Then we're going to have a quick TV roundup because there's been just a lot going on that we haven't had a chance to talk about, like Mandalorian, Ted Lasso, more, whatever we can think of. So a clip show.
You love
and
those.
I
Dan
love
loves
clip
a clip
shows.
show.
It's a clip show. It's a walk off.
Yeah.
And then Renfield, which I'm kind of looking forward to, because if I'm talking about lowbrow stupid, I want to see Terrible Vampire by Nick Cage again. But at least this time he gets to play a popular one.
Yeah, as opposed to like just him with fangs.
Yeah. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see. But May, there's a lot of shit going on in May.
My word, there is.
And it's probably stuff we've missing, and of course, but I mean, the one that everyone has been asking me about is like, why aren't you doing Fast and the Furious? Do you know why? Because I can't convince anyone else to watch the Fast and the Furious movies.
It was on the schedule, guys, and I said, FYI, I'm not coming to that one.
Just-
I
Peter's
said,
like-
no, I want to talk about Schmigadoon.
and I was kind of like, I can take a leave it. And Dion's left standing there going, I guess I'll just
Holding
fucking
the
stand here with
baby.
my Vin Diesel in my hand.
Just because during the first lockdown I took it upon myself to become one with the Fast and the Furious family. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I could make or even ask. Because don't forget, like, this may be Fast and Furious 10, but there's more than 10 films in the Fast and Furious franchise, because you've got to watch Hobbs and Shaw to get the full.
Yeah,
Although-
so it's not 10, it's just 11.
Someone did, like, I think it was Peter where you were saying, I watch one of them, and I'm like, cool, watch Tokyo Drift, it'll be fine. And that's the greatest one to ever throw to a Fast and Furious fan because they're like, "Where's Vin Diesel?" It's like, "Yeah, that's right, yeah."
Yeah. Is Paul Walker even in this? No, not
No.
really.
No, not all. No, but there's another character who dies and then comes back, and it's like, what is going on with that thing?
Yeah, it makes zero fucking sense. But you know,
Anyway.
whatever. So if you desperately want to talk about Fast and the Furious, I'm sure like Dion will talk to you on the internet.
Sure, we're gonna create a Fast and the Furious group, and it's just Fast and Furious.
All Fast, all Furious.
It's gonna be
I
called
think
the Family.
TPTO8 Fast and the Furious
The
thread,
Family Thread.
which will just be the.
Fast and Furious Family Thread.
I love it.
And I'll make it up like a Brady Bunch thing and just put people's faces in.
Amazing.
Thank you to all of you for your wonderful opinions and educating me on why the Ghosted is actually bad for cinema and people. Perhaps I shouldn't have enjoyed it as much as I did, but maybe I wasn't thinking hard enough. A good lesson to learn.
Dion.
So judgy. It's so judgy.
No, it's like it's good to be reminded. It's like, hey, that's really bad and a bad example, and you shouldn't do that. It's like, yeah, okay, so no sequel.
Actually, and this is kind of weird and out there, but speaking of no sequels, one of the reasons that you will never know whether or not we're going to get a sequel is because that was on a streaming service. And streaming services are renowned for never ever releasing the numbers that they do on their films, which is part of the reason the writers have decided, from the Writers Guild of America, have decided to go on strike. So the last time I think we did this was 2008. And it was massively disrupting for a huge part of that year. You know, like TV shows were cut in half, things went completely to shit. But the interesting thing at the moment is that a lot of the other professionals in the film and TV are basically jumping on board and saying, yes, we're with the writers, but also people can't live like this anymore. I've seen a number of actors saying that, you know, the things like TV shows, you used to be able to actually, if you were a series regular on a TV show, you could live on it. But now with streaming numbers, they never tell you how much they make. They'll never tell you how well, you know, watched the shows are, so you can't get residuals. But also, nobody's ever a series regular anymore. People are now just recurring characters who will get a day rate. So like a couple of actors, including Felicia Day and John DiMaggio's wife and a few others, I've seen putting quite long things in there saying, yeah, it sounds really good. You get an $8,000 for a day rate. But people are working harder and making less money than they ever had. And it's things like the streaming services that are forcing that to happen. So I'm all down for, I'm a big lefty unionist. I'm like, yeah, good, fight the good fight. But in this situation, I think, yeah, support your writers, support the people who are trying to make a difference for everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. There's the political statement at the end of the show.
That's fine. And I agree. I think, yeah, be supportive of the people to make sure that everyone's getting a fair deal. Because if you don't advocate for yourself, you don't get a fair deal.
Yeah. And I imagine that in the near future, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of other shit as well. That is things like AI. I know there's an awful lot of voice actors who are pushing very hard to make sure that everybody reads their contracts, because there's an awful lot of companies out there that have it written into their contracts very quietly that they can use your voice for anything. And in that situation, anything can mean training an AI to replace you with your own voice.
Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine the not disclosing the numbers on streaming services, like that allows the streaming service to deem like if a series is successful or not, and therefore if the TV series doesn't know how successful they are, they can't then take it to another streaming platform to continue if they get axed.
But also they can't negotiate for better pay or anything like that because they can't say, hey, you're doing these ratings. We are the #1 rated show in America. you need to pay us more.
Hmm.
Because as we've seen, a lot of the streaming services also don't have much compunction about just going, fuck it, kill the show.
Yeah.
Things that we think, oh, geez, that must be really successful. They're quite happy to just go, nah, that's it. We're ending that. So, yeah, the ability to negotiate is almost nil,
Yeah.
And I know that this has got to be because I know, Pete, you work in TV and you work with streaming services. So I understand that that's not necessarily an easy conversation for you to be a part of, but
I don't think they're watching me.
no,
Not a big player.
you are the industry.
Yeah.
Capital T, capital I.
Emmy award winning.
Yeah.
But as somebody who does work in the industry and work with streamers, I wholeheartedly agree. We work really. This is why I feel so bad giving bad ratings, because I know how hard people work on these things, and I know how much it sucks to get a bad rating. But we work really, really hard, and people who are working hard on this stuff should be properly compensated, and certainly shouldn't be in danger of being replaced for profits by machines.
Yeah. And like with, I saw a conversation, sorry, this is devolved entirely, but I saw a conversation with a couple of guys the other day saying, look, we're ages away from AI making films, because somebody showed a trailer of Star Wars as if it was directed by Wes Anderson. And it was all done using AI tools. And I looked at it and I thought, oh yeah, that's very cute. And then somebody said, oh, it's going to be, it's 50 years before, we got AIs making films. I'm like, dude, it's fucking
bullshit.
nuts.
It's happening now.
Yeah. And to prove the point, I showed them the video clip of the ad for pizza that was made entirely by AI. So the script was written by AI.
Fucking creepy.
Yeah, the video is all made by AI, and it's like the entire thing is generated by AI, and it is nightmare fuel.
So far, but then it'll get better because large learning models have. Anyway, let's not go into that. There's a whole bunch of good reasons out there.
Sorry.
If you want to know about that, message us and we'll tell you where to go and look at things that'll terrify you.
Yeah. I will heartily recommend another podcast, because we don't do that very often, but Your Undivided Attention. It's from the American Humane Technology Association, and it's remarkable. Very good listen. So go and listen to that.
Go and listen to that, and then find out a way to be nice to Siri and Alexa and all of those things.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, then. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming along. Thank you for Casper for your late jump in and gift of subs as you are
Casper dropping in and
the
subbing
sub
like
master. And yeah, we'll see you all next week for the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Looking forward to it. Ooga chaka, etc.
Goodness, are we going to go raid anyone, Queenie?
Yeah, let's go and raid somebody. Let's see. Baja.
Baja.
Your Baja?
My Baja and your Baja. And see you all there. Ich toit. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you all later. Okay.
Bye.
I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. Deep-powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. With martial arts from iron fist and wall, I'll dap her up and teach her all my songs. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up these heroes at my parents' restaurant now. I wanna yell out Avengers Assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're out of cheeky now. Say Emma Frost and have her read my mind, or Magdalena, her artifacts symphony. It'll just be her and me. Call Bucky Barnes and arm wrestle for hours. This NMA and bring her lots of flowers. Oh, trendy bars would be a guy's night out. We'd make that wolf pack now. I'd run with Flash and do a marathon. Vacation to the Savage Land for fun.